Hey everybody at YouTube, this is Belligerent, and in this video I'm going to go over Paladin Death Knight versus Arcane Mage Rogue. It's not the most popular setup for Mage Rogue, but it definitely has its advantages over Frost, and that is the amazing burst they can do on you, and they can kill you before you can even really react. So, be aware of that. First, we'll start off with expectations and what you should know before you play. They're pretty much always going to start in your Death Knight unless they do get a sap on them, which they shouldn't because your Death Knight has Lichborn, which turns them undead, and you can't sap undead targets, and yeah. So generally, what your Death Knight wants to use that Lichborn like right away, so he can't get sapped, and he should be sending his pet in to get in combat. And you can get in combat if you Sacred Shield him after his pet gets in combat. So that's how you avoid the sap. If your Death Knight wants to use his Trinket and Kidney Shot, make sure you have Hand of Protection ready for his blind. Not everybody knows this, but Hand of Protection, or your Bop, or Hop if you want to call it. I've always called it Bop because it used to be Blessing of Protection. It removes physical effects like blind. And your Death Knight should have a macro that will take off your Hand of Protection, allowing him to keep continuing his DPS. And remember to Divine Sacrifice if you're blinking counterspell to reduce damage or avoid getting polymorphed. And position-wise, you just want to stay as far away as possible from the rogue while trying to be near something to line of sight the mage. Because what they want to do is just sheep your Death Knight and switch onto you at the same time, and you won't be able to take it off because you'll be silenced or kidney shotted or cheap shotted. So that's generally the strategy: is just go hard on your Death Knight until they see an opportunity to switch onto you. If you don't give them an opportunity to switch on you by just being really far out of line of sight, or your Death Knight just interrupting polys and gripping that rogue back, they will never really be able to kill you guys. Next on a strategy, just play it as a double DPS at the start. That means just throw your Holy Shocks and Judgments and Shield Slams into the mage. You want to freedom your Death Knight as soon as that first Nova goes off, or after the Kidney. Whatever happens first, because if you do freedom him after the first Nova goes off, he can always just use Icebound Fortitude, which makes him immune to stuns anyway. But remember, you don't want to use it if he's already kidneyed. That's kind of a waste, because he'll probably just spell steal it then. But yeah, that's how you should use Hand of Freedom. Your DK needs to be keeping diseases on both of the enemy players, because it's going to whittle down the rogue, because he doesn't have any real ways to heal, so he will just slowly drop his health. And your Hammer of Justice should be going on the rogue as early as possible, so he can't get out of the second Hammer of Justice. And that right there will let you guys do tons of extra damage to him or the mage. You guys should swap to that rogue if you can't hit that mage for just like 2 seconds. Because that rogue's usually going to be sitting on your Death Knight if he's not on you, so it's very easy to switch to him. If that mage is getting away, just do a quick swap. They'll play much more defensively, and it can really help you out. And really, there's no excuse to not Hand of Sacrifice or build line of sight. So if the mage is sheeping, try to use Hand of Sacrifice mid-cast on it. If you're silenced, use Divine Sacrifice mid-cast on it. But that's really the easiest way to just stay out of sheeps and reduce overall damage on your Death Knight if they're trying to kill him. And don't forget, Divine Sacrifice, it reduces damage by 20%. So if they're like on you and they blink and silence you, and you think you can't do anything, remember you can actually use Divine Sacrifice to save yourself. And yeah, you can also just line of sight them really early, so they never really try to switch to you. The kill, the mage is going to ice block very early because you guys are just going nuts on him with both your damage. And as the ice block ends or removes, your Death Knight needs to be ready to interrupt the polymorph, because usually that mage will try to polymorph your Death Knight and let that rogue get a re-stealth. So if that's interrupted, they're pretty much just screwed. So remember, he can use Anti-Magic Shell to avoid it. He can gnaw it with his pet. He can Death Grip the polymorph, or he can even strangulate it. And if he's close enough, he can Mind Freeze it, but he probably won't be. And yeah, just keep everything dispelled off yourself and your Death Knight, and that really helps keep Sacred Cleansing up, which makes other spells miss on you guys, giving you guys a huge advantage. And since they have no healing, your options are just finish off the rogue if he's low from dots, or finish the mage if his Evocate was interrupted and he didn't get any healing from it. But yeah, that's it. Both the games here are on Ring of Valor. Alright, this is against a Troll Mage. First thing to point out is that he also has Mage Armor on that's going to reduce the duration of Chains of Ice by 50%. And he's Arcane, so he'll be able to do a lot of instant cast things. Plus, yeah, like I said, he's Troll, so they have a little bit extra haste when he uses his Racial. And right here at the beginning of the game, I have two options, and that are to stay back and just be really, really passive, or go out offensive and actually get in range to do some damage. And I choose to go out and get in range to do some damage, but that means the mage is going to polymorph me. But I am able to get a hand of sacrifice during the cast on it, and that breaks me out instantly. So yeah, you have two options: play passive and let him DPS the crap out of your DK, or you can run in there and just use a hand of sacrifice and pretty much just help DPS. Because it's hand of sacrifice, the mage is forced to just pretty much do nothing but try to continue sheeping me. And because of that, my Death Knight's able to continue putting pressure out, and as soon as I get in range of my stun the mage, and he actually ends up ice blocking just a couple seconds later, so we've pretty much taken no damage when we've already blown their cooldown. So we're very, very much ahead at this point. Like I said at the beginning of the video, they really just want to sheep you and either DPS the crap out of your Death Knight, or they want to sheep your Death Knight and switch to you. And here they try to sheep me, but I luckily get out of line of sight just in time. Now here's something that if you can do it, you're better than 95% of other Paladins out there. What I do is, I see the rogue running towards me with a sprint, and that means he's going to blind me. There's really no other reason for him to run at me like that, while they have my Death Knight at half health. So I use Divine Sacrifice, and it breaks me out of the blind right away. Finally, after a pretty good game we had here, the rogue goes down in a Hammer of Justice. And yeah, the mage got away for a little bit. That happens, so this is usually your opportunity to switch to rogue, and he was super low because he had dots on him the entire game. Now here's a very, very different game against an Alliance version with the gnome, and pretty much the only difference there is they have the escape artist. But right here at the beginning of the game, my DK gets Frost Nova into a polymorph, and I get cheap shotted before I'm able to actually get a cleanse or freedom on it. So I make the decision to tell him to just trinket it, but that means that I'm gonna have to use a hand of protection on his blind, because his blind's gonna be coming very soon. But as you see here, they do tons of damage to me. I chose to trinket the kidney shot, and that was because I knew they were not going to try to kill my Death Knight, because basically a team that goes on you off the break wants you to bubble right away. And if they can force you to bubble right away, they'll kill you right after. So if you're able to, just trinket that kidney right away and Divine Favor Holy Shock yourself and just try to live. I use my Divine Sacrifice to reduce damage myself, and then I follow that with a Aura Mastery Flash of Light, and it actually gets their kick and their counterspell at the same time, and then my Death Knight follows that with a Strangulate onto the mage, and he's able to end up finishing the game by killing that mage. But yeah, so you can see there's a complete difference between some games, but just depending on who they start on and how they do that opener. And quickly before the replays with Skype, a little recap, and then basically all I have to say is sack the sheeps and blinds if you can, if you see them coming. And remember to either use the Hand of Salvation Glyph or Divine Sacrifice on yourself, so you don't have to bubble. They both reduce damage by like 20%, except for one's not dispellable, and that's the Hand of Sacrifice. Help DPS every time you have the chance, and remember, if your DK trinkets a kidney shot or something, you can use Hand of Protection on his blind to get him out of it, so he can continue doing his damage. But yeah, thanks for watching, and remember to ask questions on my profile or below the video. Remember to rate, and see you guys next time. Arcane Rogue does not have the right armor on. This is where you just pop your Lich Board, your whatever fast, because he's gonna open on you for sure. I sack the sheep because I'm a champion. Okay, freedoming as soon as it's there. Just some
Got it.
Rogue. That rogue is just sitting at full health.
Oh yeah, probably could be DPSing even. No.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm just flying sign because it looks like they're gonna try to switch onto me.
Triangulated him. Trinketed something.
Trinketed before he kidneyed you.
Then I forgot to use
I
ice.
sacked the blind because I'm a hero. Okay.
You're not a wizard? What about a Dragon Master?
Tyler, hit the guy that's right next to you that's just sitting there with like 30% Ahaj.
Dude. It's not shiny enough, dude. The frickin' mage is putting like shiny, frickin' colorful stuff on my screen.
Look, I trinketed finally.
Here we go.
Arcane Mage rogue. Completely different. Annie and Viz. Can you get a Desecrate down?
Can I get a Desecrate down when it's nothing to hit?
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I can't, because I just used Blood Boil twice. But they are gonna step. Oh! We saw one.
Go left, go left, go left, go left. I'm cheap shotted. Just drink it, just drink it, just drink it, just drink it. Spraying him early.
I trinketed. I trinketed.
I'm gonna pop on you. Flick it off.
Here comes the ice block.
You will die.
Strangulated him.
Trying to get restock, I got him though. Dead. It's okay to drink it first time because I can usually pop before the next kidney.